July 31st, 2025, at approximately 11:27 p.m., a trooper at the northbound Scale House saw a sport car speeding. The vehicle exited at exit 73, hit a curb, and continued east on Elm Springs Road. The trooper activated lights and siren and began pursuit. The driver turned off the headlights and fled at speeds over 100 miles per hour. At 11:28 p.m., dispatch was advised. Springdale Sergeant Christopher Sherrill joined the pursuit as the car traveled east on Huntsville Road. At the intersection of Huntsville and Thompson, officers found multiple wrecks. A dark Nissan was disabled with 2 people behind it, and a Chevy SUV was struck across the street. About 150 yards east, the suspect car was located in a parking lot, smoking, with 2 men outside.
The old schoolhouse.
Old schoolhouse.
The driver, Kevin Colindres Castaneda, 22, admitted he was driving and was taken into custody. Passenger Irvin Rocha was released. The Nissan's occupants were taken to a hospital by family. The SUV's driver, Calvin Ryers, reported a shoulder injury. Colindres Castaneda was taken to Northwest ER in Fayetteville, then booked into the Washington County Jail. Colindres Castaneda stated he fled because he did not have a license, and a judge had ordered him to obtain one by September to avoid prior charges. August 2nd, 2025, Jonesboro, Arkansas. At 4:29 p.m., Trooper Nash Thomas was patrolling northbound on State Highway 1 when a motorcycle flew past at 101 miles per hour in a 55 zone. The rider briefly slowed to 80, but then accelerated again as lights and sirens went on. The driver was later identified as Riley McCarthy, 29, of Arkansas. As the chase began, McCarthy passed vehicles where the road narrowed, even using the shoulder to get around traffic. Speeds held well over 100 miles per hour as the pursuit continued northbound through Harrisburg Road. Near Parker Road, McCarthy nearly rear-ended a car, then ran a red light without stopping. Entering Red Wolf Boulevard, traffic thickened, but the motorcycle weaved through lanes, ignoring signals and safety. Approaching Highland Drive, McCarthy tried to turn east, but carried too much speed, cutting between stopped cars at a red light before shooting into oncoming lanes. He reached nearly 100 miles per hour in a 45 zone, dodging vehicles as he went. At Watt Street, he attempted a sharp right turn, but again came in too fast, nearly striking another car. He cut through a concrete lot, then veered into a grassy field when the trooper blocked his path. Losing control, McCarthy dropped the motorcycle at low speed and went to the ground.
Just got wrecked. Turn south on block.
This time, he didn't run. McCarthy immediately complied, lying face down with arms out. He was taken into custody without incident. July 25th, 2025, Pine Bluff, Arkansas. Late at night, Corporal Darrell Hinton was patrolling near Phyllis Street and Dollarway Road when he spotted a black moped with a broken taillight. The rider, later identified as Eddie Williams of Pine Bluff, came to a stop at the intersection. But when told to pull into a nearby lot, Williams instead circled to the back and then shot back onto Phyllis Street, fleeing the stop. Dispatch was alerted. Williams ran stop signs and nearly caused a crash as he sped south, pushing the small moped to nearly 40 miles per hour. Turning onto South Richard Drive, Williams suddenly braked. The trooper's push bumper tapped the rear tire, and Williams ditched the moped, sprinting into an open field.
Hey, stop! Stop!
The foot chase stretched nearly 200 yards before Williams was taken into custody. A search revealed more than 7 grams of methamphetamine in a small container in his pocket. Williams claimed he couldn't breathe, but after paramedics responded, he refused medical treatment and was found to have no injuries. July 4th, 2025, Dallas County, Arkansas. At 7:58 a.m., Trooper James Reed clocked a 2019 Buick Encore at 74 miles per hour in a 60 zone along U.S. Highway 167. Lights were activated, but the vehicle refused to stop. Instead, it continued southbound at highway speed. When the siren was engaged, the driver slowed slightly to 60 miles per hour, but still refused to pull over. The trooper positioned beside the Buick multiple times, using the PA system to order the driver to stop. Each attempt failed. Instead, the driver changed lanes, passing a truck pulling a trailer, making it clear this was now an active pursuit. With traffic clear, Trooper Reed executed a tactical vehicle intervention. The Buick spun counterclockwise into the front of the patrol unit, then was pushed safely off the roadway. The driver was taken into custody without further incident. She was identified as 54-year-old Patricia Ann Daniel of Bryant, Baxter County, Arkansas, State Highway 201. On State Highway 201 near Shady Grove, a black sport-style motorcycle was observed traveling southbound. The rider crossed the double yellow line to make an illegal pass in front of oncoming traffic. As law enforcement attempted a traffic stop, the motorcycle briefly pulled toward the shoulder, but then accelerated at high speed, refusing to stop. Dispatch was advised of the active pursuit as the rider continued southbound, weaving recklessly through traffic. The motorcycle made several illegal passes in the same lane as oncoming vehicles, forcing drivers off course to avoid collisions. Approaching the Norfolk Cafe, a Baxter County deputy attempted to block the roadway with his unit, but the suspect swerved around him and continued fleeing south on Highway 5. As the pursuit entered the sharp curves near Jordan Road, the rider attempted to maintain extreme speeds through the turns. The motorcycle crossed into oncoming traffic, lost control, and veered into the northbound ditch line, striking a roadside sign before crashing.
He crashed.
The rider abandoned the motorcycle and fled on foot into a wooded area. Officers gave loud verbal commands, and after a short chase, the suspect complied and was taken into custody without further incident.